You can't hear me. Yeah, that's why. I'm sorry, y'all. Greetings, class. Let me know if you hear me. Go ahead and mute your side over there. So, mute the YouTube. Just hit the mute there. I'm working on this technology. If you have any idea how much I hate technology, you understand. So, greetings, class. You made it. You made it to a class that's going to teach you how to buy real estate the unconventional way. You took time out of your day because you are a believer like me that the banking system and the credit industry might not have your best interest regarding building your real estate empire or buying a house for your family. So, I am Chris Haskins. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. I'm working here with my beautiful daughter, Taylor, in the corner there. What's going on? Still can't hear me?
Wait, that person
And why you messing? Y'all can't hear me.
Everybody else said they can hear me. It's just one person.
You can't hear me here. All right. Well, Harry, everybody. I think he's messing with me. I think he's messing with us. So over the next few moments in time, I will show you exactly how we kind of put this thing together. I can't teach you all this stuff with it. I can't teach you all this stuff in one setting. But thankfully, this is actually my first training for the year. I'm opening up my Subject to Lease Option training course because I want to show you how I have actually done this. I bought my personal piece of real estate for my family. Did you know Carlton Drive, the last house we moved from? The strategy that I'm teaching is how I bought that house. Did you know that? My daughter had no idea. So she just thinks she just shows up in the houses and they're just there. So we're going to show my daughter here too. So luckily, the good thing about these videos is I get to teach you, train you, and leave a digital footprint for my friends and family after I move on to the afterlife. Is that cool? All right. So tonight, let's do this thing. Let's do this. Share screen. Window. Boom. There we go. Can you see that there? Make sure that comes up. Sharing the screen. Okay, cool. You can see. We're talking about how to buy houses without begging for bank loans. If that resonates with anybody, can you just type in a yes in the chat? Could you type in a yes, please? Let me know. And put your name and what city you're hailing from tonight so we know where you're at, where my roundup homies are. Where are you guys? So the magic, before we get into all this stuff here, the magic about buying real estate, we call it subject to, I'm going to get into that in a minute, is it is scalable. You can do it over and over and over again. But let's talk about the current way most of us have been taught to buy real estate. Let's talk about the current way. Did anybody say yes? Makes them see.
Everybody's saying yes, and it's a question.
All right. All the questions, my daughter's going to read them out at the end of the presentation so we can get that. So what we have been taught, the traditional way, conventional thinking of buying real estate, right? You're going to have to get bank qualified. You're going to have to do all the stuff the bank wants you to do. We're going to go over that in a minute. It requires no training because just like if you're anything like me, you just walk to the mortgage broker, fill out my application. That's exactly what I did for my first piece of real estate. I had no idea that there was only one way to buy a house. There was no doubt in my mind that I was doing the right thing. Going in, filling out an application, turning in my bank statements and all that stuff, because that's the way I thought it was done. And so hopefully my daughter's listening to me here, sitting down. People that she meets in everyday life are probably going to tell her the same thing like they told all of us, right? So the conventional way, and it's credit-based. So that is extremely limited. That is limited funding. That's what, if you see my slide there on the left side, it is conventional. Now, the unconventional way is we call it creative real estate or subject to. It's no bank qualifications, but you must be personally and professionally trained. No one coming out of the womb knows how to buy real estate subject to. It just doesn't happen. I don't think. Nobody knows how to do this. This is a strategy that you have to learn over time. And even, did you know something that's funny? Even if you learn this strategy, it's not guaranteed that it's going to work for you or you will even work it. If you follow my content, you know, I learned about these strategies. I'll tell you too, Taylor. I learned about these strategies in 2007. It wasn't until 2010 that I actually deployed them. 3 years it took me to figure this thing out, going over it, looking at it forwards, backwards, zooming out, zooming in, talking to people, making offers, finding different paperwork. Then I had to go and get all this stuff and put it all into one bundle because I am obsessed over my community to stop renting. It keeps me up at night when I meet grown men, 60, 61, 62, 65 years old, and have not purchased their owner-occupied house. This is the way you can do it. And then what's even worse, they're getting to closer to their 70s and they have no rental property. Okay, so that is why I am here today. I exist on planet Earth to help my community become homeowners. All right, amongst a million other things I got to do. So, but that's the biggest thing. All right, it requires your ability to communicate effectively. If you've listened to Myron Golden's 4 levels of value, the money rolls in when you learn how to communicate. Now, you cannot go into a homeowner's house and just say, Miss Smith, we're going to buy your house subject to. Doesn't work like that. That's just not how the industry works. You're going to have to get trained. You're going to have to understand the covert ways that we slide it in so people don't think that we're just trying to manipulate them and take advantage of them. Now, you can use these strategies for good and bad. I'm going to pray and hope that you use these homeowner strategies for good. You can talk to them. Go ahead. Step out and talk to them. So my daughter is trying to go to London in a few weeks. She's raising some money. I've got all my friends there. She's calling them to see if they're going to donate. You must know how to set it all up. There's a specific way we set these things up. So when when we go to closing, you know how to close it. All right. And the magic to buying real estate subject to, y'all, it is unlimited funding. That's what attracted me to this. Unlimited. You see, if you're anything like me, I was trying to figure out, Victoria, it took me a year, 6 months to figure out my exit. Yeah, that's right. For me, I was trying to figure out back in 2007 and 8 when the real estate market melted down. I was still in the business, right? I started in 2004. I was getting foreclosed on left and right. Boom, 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 boom. Banks would loan me money. So at night, I'll never forget like it was yesterday. I'm laying in a bed. Wasn't married yet. Trying to figure out, Chris, are you going to grow up? Are you going to be a man? Are you going to stay doing things the same way you've been doing them for all these years? Are you going to try to figure it out? So I was forced to figure this out. Now, I've spent thousands of hours trying to conceptualize, trying to figure out how do all these moving parts work? How does this stuff work? So I boiled it all down for you. So today we're opening up my Subject to Lease Option workshop. If you don't want to hear me blab on and keep going, the link is in the video description. If you want to register, you're going to spend 3 days with me. All right. 3 days. It's all virtual. You don't got to leave your house right there. You're going to learn all my systems step by step. Now, VIPs will get the document packet. The VIPs will get them. You'll be able to enter into the Subject to Facebook group where I will be in there and other people will be conversing and networking. The magic to these things is the networking. So let's go into detail what this stuff looks like. So we're talking about buying real estate subject to. Well, let's talk about the definition on that. What is the definition? Y'all know I really go by my Barron's book. Subject to is a circumstance in which a buyer takes title, that's taking ownership, to a mortgaged piece of real property, but is not personally liable for the amount due. The buyer must make payments. However, with default, only the buyer's equity in their property is lost. So what does all that mean? So we take title, we take home ownership of the property, but we leave the mortgage in the seller's name. So why is this so magical? Why is this so important to us now? I'm so glad you asked. Let me share my screen with you because a lot of us, unfortunately, a lot of y'all, not me, a lot of y'all going to be locked out of buying real estate. You're just going to be locked out because of market conditions and interest rates. it's just going to be impossible for some of us to be able to buy real estate, especially in our minds. We have to upgrade our minds and upgrade our operating systems from time to time. So when I think about everywhere I go, people are like, Fritz, is it a good time to buy? Should I wait? Interest rates are going to go up, going to go down. I'm like, dude, I don't even think about this stuff. It doesn't even hit my mind. So let me show you right now why I know a lot of us are nervous about buying real estate. Let's see, present, share screen, window. Let's do the entire screen here. Boom. This is today. This is today. Oops. Take this off. So interest rate 7.5. Damn, that's if you put 20% down. You put 10% down, 7.9. Let's see your credit score, 680. That still 7.5. Down payment 10%. I want y'all to see this now. Let me show y'all why I feel this is, in fact, this skill set right here, I believe every American needs to know, but only a few people know. It's so weird. Why nobody wants to? So this, if you go get a loan today, you're going to pay market interest rates. But let me tell you why buying real estate subject to is so powerful. So here's some of the foreclosures that I pulled. I was getting ready to say that daddy pulled. That I pulled. These houses that are just going to foreclosure. Let me just pull one. This is 418 Brightwood Avenue. Let's go to PropStream and pull that up. I was looking around for houses earlier. 418 Brightwood. Let me just show y'all the magic here, y'all. I got to show you the magic. I'm doing this in real time so I want y'all to understand that this is how we do this. So let's go to the details. So this is a property. It's going to foreclosure. I want you to see this. So the mortgage history. Let's look at the mortgage history. So they bought it. Oh, before we get here, let's see when they bought this loan. The original deed of trust was 2001. Now, everybody knows what happened in 2001. 2001 through 2022. Interest rates were at historically and all-time lows, right? So what we do as investors, we go in and we negotiate with the homeowner and we say, since you bought this house 2021, you got 2 loans on it. But I want y'all to see this. Look at the interest rate on this loan, y'all. Look at this. Can somebody type in what that interest rate is on the screen, please? So I can, y'all got to talk back to me. Y'all got me in here burning up under these lights. Good question. It's 2.7. Let me ask you. My daughter said it's 2.7% interest rate, a good interest rate. Let's go back to what today's interest rates are. Taylor, if you go get a loan right now, that's the interest rate. It can't be, there is no negotiating. That's just what it is. It's set by the federal government. You see that 5.9? I'm sorry, 7.59. It's a 30-year fix. Got it? I'm so glad you're watching this. Y'all give my daughter, can y'all say what up to Taylor in the chat there? My daughter is, she's going to be, I promise you, if you be a millionaire by the time you're 21. But this property here, look, long-term, same thing. You can look on your screen. The same thing is 360, which is 30-year fixed. And this interest rate is how much?
2.67?
2.7. Well, they have a second.
Oh, 2.7.
This is 2.7, right? 2.7. So which one is higher?
The other one.
The other one. Most people are going to buy a house traditionally, okay? But now that you know the skill, we can step in and talk to the owner of 418 Brightwood Avenue, and we can go in and we can present a creative real estate financing deal and take over those payments. Got it, Taylor? Y'all I'm all giggly inside. My daughter.
That was a dumb question. It's 2 better than 7.
Well, y'all, I'm talking to a 16-year-old. That's not a dumb question. No, Taylor, none of your questions are dumb. You're 16 years old. You don't know this stuff yet.
Okay.
You don't know this stuff. You're still learning. Put in the chat, how old were you when you found out what interest rates were? Can y'all just put in the chat? I didn't find out what interest rates were until I was 28 years old. Now my daughter's 16 and now she's understanding interest rates, which, it's still at a beginner level. But Taylor, anyway, isn't that beautiful? How old are people when they found out about interest rates?
Some said 18.
Okay, 18?
33.
33.
Dang.
There you go. Who said that?
Howie.
Howie, I want to say thank you for being transparent and honest. Thank you for being honest. That's what I wanted. That's why we're here. We're creating a conversation for the next generation so they can spread the word to their peers and the next generation, y'all. All right. So you got all that stuff, right? Now we understand why this is such an important strategy. We understand why this is such an important strategy. I don't know why this isn't working. Oh, well. Now, we're talking about buying real estate subject to the existing mortgage. We went over the definition of all of it. We understand kind of the moving parts. We step in, we take over the loan, but the deed comes in our name. Let's kind of go over some of the moving parts in our mind so we understand how to view it on a 40,000 foot view. Subject to no credit. You don't turn in any tax returns. There is no bank application. We don't even turn in a bank application. No pay stubs. How many people had to turn in pay stubs to get a loan? No bank statements. No appraisal. How many self-employed people had to turn in profit and loss analysis so they can get loans? Profit and loss statement. Don't you get sick of turning out? I'm like, why? Do you know who you know what we do for a living? Look, you see, it's so cool that this stuff exists. What are we doing? We're taking over debt. And this can be a rental or you can live in the property. So once again, my daughter, she didn't know this. This is the same strategy. You know, I took over somebody else's loan on the last house we lived in on Carlton Drive.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't even use my credit. I didn't even get a loan. Somebody else had already got the loan.
So you paid the mortgage on somebody else's loan?
I paid the mortgage on somebody else's loan. Isn't that cool? You never even knew.
Why would you want to do that, though?
Why would we want to do that, y'all? This is a good question. Y'all, that's why I love my daughter. Why would I want to paste a loan in somebody else's name? Because I didn't have to use my credit. I didn't have to turn in my tax returns to the bank. I didn't have to even apply for the loan, buddy. I didn't apply for the loan. They had already applied for it. I didn't have to do my pay stubs, bank statements, no appraisal, no profit and loss, nothing. I had to sign a piece of paper that said, I'm going to take over your debt. I'm done. Isn't that cool, y'all? Y'all give my daughter, man, this is so good stuff. We take over debt, and you can do this for a rental or a property you can live in. We don't assume loans. What do we do, y'all? You know, some of you are saying, is that an assumable loan? See, back in the day, there was a type of loans you could come in and put your name on the loan, so you're personally liable. But I don't want y'all doing that, right? We don't do that. Come on in.
Oh, I think I know
Who that? Oh. Back in the day, they had these assumable loans. But if some of y'all are like so much resistance to coming over to the unconventional side, if you had to think about this strategy, it's going to be a non-qualifying assumption, all right? Because I know some of y'all are like, hey, is this possible? Can you really do this? I don't know, Chris. I gotta go put my name on that debt. The reason that we don't want to put debt in our name is because if something happens, it goes against our credit. I had already done this. Before you were born, I had already got a bunch of loans in my name. And then I lost all the houses. I lost them all because I couldn't afford the payments. The market crashed. We buy real estate on social issues, y'all. Why can you do this? Why are you able to do this? I'm so glad you asked that question, Taylor. You're able to do this because, how are you able to do this? Oh man, NVIDIA. I'm using an NVIDIA chip, y'all.
Okay.
That's that new AI chip. How are we able to do this? I'm glad you asked. We buy real estate based on social issues, not market conditions, okay? I need y'all to understand that. We buy on social issues. What does that look like? Okay, 7:30. Social issues. Let's rewind. If you buy on market conditions, then you buy based on interest rates, your availability of housing. Go ahead, buddy.
You did
Oh,
something. Yeah.
sorry, y'all. I got the wrong thing up.
I think you screen shared the wrong screen.
Sorry about that, y'all. Let me share screen. Please forgive me. Entire screen. Boom. Is that better? Thanks for being with me, y'all. We got technology stuff. I got my daughter in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we buy real estate based on social issues and not market conditions. What are market conditions? Well, interest rates, availability of housing. We got price fluctuations. We have markets going forwards, backwards, left, right, up, down, and even sideways. You don't know what the market is doing. We got sellers market. You might have a buyer's market. You might have to pay closing costs. You may not have to pay closing costs. You might have to pay 5% realtor fees. Yes, realtor, not realtor. Realtor fees. 3 and 3. We don't know what's going to happen to realtor fees and the availability of financing. That's what you are up against when you are dealing with traditional market conditions. Now, we buy on social issues: death, divorce, drug abuse, loss of job, job transfer, and sickness. These things are happening every day in every city in the United States. Would anybody agree with that? It just happens. This is not a Chris Haskins thing. We are stepping in and we are assisting people get out of houses that they just don't want. Something else I wanted to show y'all. So much to teach y'all. Good Lord, I got so much to show you. But we'll skip that. All right, we did interest rates. We got that. Y'all saw the lead. You saw the foreclosures. I could go over house. Y'all want to see another house, for example? I could do another house. Now, once we get into these things, round up homies, once we're into them, once we get into the property, we then want to get out of it if you're going to be doing investing like me. Or if you want to buy a house for your family to live in, then you won't need to get out of it. So it's completely up to you. These strategies you can use for either one. We sell them using lease options, okay? Using a lease option. Those are two strategies, a lease option. So the reason we love lease options is because we rent the property out to tenant buyers as opposed to traditional tenants. Why is that good for me? Because I'm taking much lower risk as opposed to dealing with traditional tenants. And let me explain to you why. Now, when we sell a property during a lease option, we don't have to deal with any security deposits. I don't collect security deposits anymore. I don't do credit checks. And even for the tenant buyer that's coming in, they're happy at that. I don't check people's credit. How many people think that it's easier to rent to people with challenged credit or great credit? How many people out there you think got great credit still or have bad credit? Which one's more?
Great credit.
People have great credit?
Well, what do you mean, like easier to get money from?
Easier to get money, yes.
Yeah.
You think more people have great credit to borrow money or have challenged credit, bad credit?
Great credit because they pay their money back.
They pay their bills on time.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, my daughter hasn't been around but 16 years. And let me tell you, generally speaking, in the United States of America, people do not pay their bills back on time. Generally speaking.
Don't matter about credit or nothing.
Their credit will go in the trash. That's why I love talking to my daughter. She sees mom and dad on the ball, paying stuff on time, borrowing money, flipping this, doing all. She's like, I guess that's how everybody is. No. Generally speaking, but some people don't even have any credit. Credit is your ability to borrow money in the traditional world from banks. So we don't check credit when we do these lease options. And we'll get to the questions. Round up, put your questions in the chat there. We're getting ready to do questions. Please get your questions in the chat so I can.
Yeah, Frederick said it'd be easier to get from bad credit.
It's easier to rent to bad credit people.
How?
It's easier to rent to bad credit people because they have no options. You are the only option for them. When I have great credit, I've got the whole system that's going to loan me money. I can go to Bank of America. I can go to Wells Fargo. I can go to this bank. I can go to that bank. I can get this credit card. So I don't need you, Chris Haskins. However, with people who have challenged credit, they have very limited options. I'm glad you said that. That's why you have to make sure you keep your credit good. Well, if you're going to be like daddy, I didn't want my credit to go bad, but when the real estate market crashed, my credit went in the trash because the banks were taking houses back from me. It just happened. But I want to be honest with you. I screwed it up. When we sell on lease options, we don't do repairs. I can show you some houses, and I'll show you during the training some houses that I have sold that were falling in. Remember that one we went to with the trees in their garage?
Mhm.
Did you know I sold that? I got a $20,000 down payment.
Oh.
Yeah. So round up, homies. Lease options are the way to go. There's no late night calls for you to come fix something like I got the other day. I had a garbage disposal go out in one of my Section 8 tenant rental properties. There's no tenants. We can deal with tenant buyers. A tenant buyer looks at the property. Let me tell you, I got people, and one guy fixed up the house, did a new kitchen, new flooring, new windows, new siding. Dude did everything to the property because they're acting like they're homeowners. They have a different mindset than a traditional tenant. No toilets or painting. I don't paint properties, especially if my traditional ones I do. I don't have all these options. So we buy on a subject to, no credit. We're taking over somebody else's debt, and we sell on a lease option. Now, when we sell on lease options, well, let me help understand. We're renting it with an option to buy. So they get a lease, which gives them quiet enjoyment, and then they have the option, which we're going to go all over all of this stuff in class. The option gives them the price to buy and the terms. Okay, so there are two different documents. I'm going to break that. It's going to take me an hour to break that down for you. Now, when you do lease options, there are 3 paydays. Number one, large down payment. For them to move in, they have to give you a down payment to move in. That's how it works. So back in the day, I used to try to get $3,000. Now, minimum we would take would be $5,000 to $10,000, right? Real estate in my area is so limited. It is such in high demand. We can extract these high down payments out of people, or they don't get a house, right? It's just as Ryan Pineda says, it's just what it is. Number 2, we get a monthly payment for them. So they pay their rent every month to us, and we get principal paid down because we bought it here and they were selling it over here. So we bought it creatively, selling it creatively. Number 3, the back end payday. So let's say we sell it, my mentor calls it super retail. Say we sell it for $250,000. There's no realtor fees. There's no closing costs. There's no processing fees. And you're selling it right there. The only fee you're going to have is taxes. And let me show you, let me show y'all something. There's another one I wanted to look at. See if I can find it here. I want to show you all this. Oh, okay. Share my screen. This is a lead that came in. Get your questions in real quick, y'all. We're going to do Q&A. This is the lead that came in. I was looking at it before class. So this lead came in Chesapeake, 2929 Tire Neck Road. I'm showing you all these leads because it's just what it is, man. This is what we do. 2929. And if you don't have prop stream, you need to go get it. I spell it wrong? Oh, 2 words. Tire Neck Road. All right, so this is a lead that came in. Look at the equity here. This is what happened. This is how real estate looks in my area. It went from, it's crazy. Taylor, remember you seen those houses Daddy bought years ago? I told you what I paid for them and what they're worth today. Look at this. This house was worth $200 5 years ago. Look what it's worth now. In 5 years, baby girl. Now you kind of see why I have so much emotion when it comes to talking about real estate with you. So this lady made $80,000 for doing what?
She made money?
Well, if she sells the property in equity. So here's another one, y'all. I was looking at it earlier. Remember the interest rate? 7.5. She bought this house in 2022. Her interest rate is 5.3. This is another one that we're working now. So we want to take over these debt because our payments are lower and they've already paid 2 years of interest. Y'all see that here? So that loan came from June 2022. I need y'all to get that. Why is that important?
They've already paid off some of it. You can take it over if you wanted to.
They've already paid off some of the principal. Yes. Do you know I bought loans that are 15 years old? 15 years on a third. The whole loan is 30 years. You paid back 200,000 in 30 years. I've taken them over at 15 years, which means I only owe half of what they already borrowed. It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all.
Does that mean you're paying that money on a whole bunch of different houses?
A whole bunch of different houses.
Or 15 years?
Some of them are, no, or the loans are 30 years. Year 1, year 30. You might come in year 2. You might come in year 10. You might come in year 18 if you're taking over somebody else's debt. But if you're getting a new loan, you start at year 1. Y'all got that? I hope y'all, I pray to goodness y'all are getting this stuff down, getting this down. My daughter's getting it. Y'all hear? You're getting it, Taylor. Okay. So to bring all this around so I can help y'all, my goal is to eliminate. Is that a good word? Get your questions in the chat. My goal is to help you buy your next piece of real estate, whether it's for your family, I don't know, whether it's for investment, whatever it's for. We got to get you to buy your next house. So in the Subject to Lease Option workshop, 3-day virtual workshop, the details in the video description. It's going to start on Wednesday, on 19th, on Wednesday, okay? So the first day, we're going to be showing you all the moving parts. We're going to go over the documents step by step. It's 6 documents you got to have. You have to have this stuff. How do you talk to the bank when you buy the property? You're going to talk to a lender that the loan is not in your name. Well, we have documents for you to do that. How do you converse with your homeowners to tell them we're going to be taking over your payments? There's a whole magical way we set that all up. We have different programs to walk them into so they'll be comfortable deeding you their house and keeping the loan in their name. So the link is in the video description to get signed up. Darn, this thing must have messed it up. To my thing. Sorry about that, y'all. Early registration open and video description below. Sorry about that. I messed it all up. Save. Okay. Did I spell that right? So we're going to be spending 3 days together. I'm going to show you my system. The second day, we're going to talk about how do we find these things. How do you locate people that want to sell you their property and let you take over their mortgage payment? You're going to meet my geek squad. And people ask me, Chris, how do you do this stuff? How do you do this stuff? I promise y'all, I've spent thousands of hours studying, thousands of hours talking to homeowners about how I can best negotiate and serve them to the best of my capability. I'm telling you, I'm obsessed. Ask my daughter. I'm like a maniac. Sometimes they don't even want to tell me what they're doing because they know, boom, I'm going to be on top of them. Is that true?
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this stuff because I remember my life, y'all, before my daughter was born, trying to figure out these banks. I might have got 1 or 2 loans, home loans, but after 3 loans, if you think these lenders and banks and mortgage companies are going to finance you to build your real estate empire, you just got another thing coming, man. I mean, well, you might be able to do that, but it just wasn't in the cards for me. And generally speaking, people from my community, it's not in the cards for them. So it's open right now. Early registration right now. Get signed up so you don't forget. VIP members, you're going to get all the goodies, all the documents. So the second day, you're going to find how to locate them. And we're going to start getting into lease options a little bit on the second day. Third day is all about lease options, getting out of these things. How do we get out of them? And you're going to meet my friend that's a realtor, Vince. He's going to show you how to do these deals with properties that are listed on market. Did you know you can buy real estate subject to with properties that are listed with a realtor? Now, I'm not saying it's the easiest thing to do. None of this stuff is easy, but it can be done. Okay, so you're going to meet a realtor that does it all the time. Vince does it. I don't do it. He does it. He actually taught me how to do it. And he's a local guy, one of my good friends. So early registration open right now. If this is something, I believe you're smart. I believe you know a great opportunity when you see it. I believe you want better for your family. I believe when you walk in that home, when you walk in your front door, you want your children to look at you and admire you, not just because you're dad or mom. They want to look up to you for that. But you want them to look up to you because of what you stand for in the community. I believe you want to stand for something, and I believe you want to create a legacy for the next generation. Everybody is interested in trying to figure out what is my purpose? What am I leaving behind other than debt, other than a bunch of bills? All right. So let's get to some Q&A here, Taylor.
The link, early registration link apparently is not in
Oh, it's not working?
the description. No, they said somebody said they don't see the link. Let me look real quick.
Oh, good. It's right there.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Oh, if you don't see it, refresh your screen. I'm sorry about that. Hit it, Taylor. Make sure it's
I
good.
can put it in the chat too.
You can, yeah. You might have to click it to go to it. Cause okay, now I'm letting my daughter. You know what? She let her do it. She's getting paid. She's getting paid.
The link is so big, I can't send it in the chat.
You can't put it in the chat?
No. Well,
click on it and take it right.
It was too big.
There you go. Try that one. Get your questions in, round up, homie, so I can hopefully help anybody that is coming to hang out with us.
Okay, Q&A, you ready?
Let's do it, buddy. First of all, let me know who's here. Give us some names that are here.
Free food.
Free food's here. It's my daughter's favorite thing.
Yeah, Victoria K. And Donganon.
Danganana.
Yeah. So free food said, so if you're not VIP, you do not get the contracts you use.
You do not.
Dang.
You do not. Only VIP members. Yep. Here's the thing, y'all. I've been giving away my life for so cheap for so long. My wife is like, Chris, why are you doing all this stuff? So I have to create value for the people that are willing to sacrifice for me. As much as I've had 2 back surgeries standing up in front of this camera for y'all. My daughter, I mean, y'all, they took me to the hospital. So at this moment in my life, yes, I want to deal with the people that are willing to sacrifice for themselves. Okay.
Donganon said, when the seller wants to sell, are you purchasing it for the price they want on subject to terms? Or are you negotiating the price you want from the jump? Great question, actually.
So here's the thing I need everybody to understand. If I can get a piece of real estate without turning in my credit, tax returns, no bank application, no pay stubs, no bank statements, no appraisal, no profit loss statement, no nothing, no bank qualifying, I am willing to pay any price that the seller wants. So yes, the seller dictates the price, I dictate the terms, okay? That's me. Now, if you're new and you're kind of just getting your foothold in this thing, you need to look at the numbers. Don't over leverage yourself. For me, all I want to do now is pay off debt. So yes, that's a great one. Who said the Danganon?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm doing that, I want to make sure that what is that? I want to make sure that I'm making the seller happy because they're giving me the debt. Hit it, buddy.
Is it best to do this strategy? Or
did you scroll all the way up to the top?
Oh, to the top.
Yeah, we get the questions at the top.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
Let's see.
All right, registration is open, y'all. Hit it, buddy.
Somebody asked, where's the property? But why take over somebody's subject to? Did we already answer that one?
We did with you a little bit. If you didn't, who asked that question?
Frederick.
Jamar, Dallas, what up? Why do we want to take over somebody else's debt? Because it's not in our name anymore. We make the payments in their name. We own the property. There's no debt to income ratio. There's no bank qualifying. But who asked that question again? What was his name? Frederick. The reason we want to do that is because...
No, I'm sorry. Is it Frederick? Oh, yes, it was Frederick.
Frederick. The reason we want to do that because it doesn't count against your debt. You never qualify for it. How many people, if you know what, I'd like to know in the comments, how many people bought a house, but the debt didn't go in their name? I'd like to know. Somebody tell me if they did that. If you've done that already, it's magic, Frederick. Because most people put up their credit. They personally guarantee debt to buy real estate, and I don't want you to do that. Next,
Um,
Greensboro in the building, Chicago.
Somebody
Jaquez.
said, or how do you typically get your leads? Was that what the
Leads is from my geek. So on day 2 of the Subject To Lease Option 3-day virtual workshop, we're going to spend several hours together, maybe 2.5, 3 hours together every day, right? I'm trying to shorten the time we're together so more people can come. Before I was doing 4 or 5 hours a day. Now I'm doing 2.5 hours a day, but more days. So people can go to work and then come home. You don't have to worry about cramming it all in. So, darn it. Question again?
how do you typically get your leads?
Oh, leads. You're going to meet my geek squad on the second day. Brian's going to show you all the moving stuff he does to bring the leads in. And I'll show you some of how the stuff we get on for pre-foreclosures. I still love pre-foreclosures. They're the great ones they're the greatest leads for our subject twos.
Okay. Somebody said, I think they mean rich, unless you know what a sitch is.
Say, what's the question?
Or how to find sitch properties. But I think they meant rich properties.
Spell it.
SICH, like it's rich, but with an S. They might have misspelled it.
How to find rich properties? I don't know. What's the name?
Shantae.
Shantae, can you put that question in? We don't know the answer to the question.
And
Philip Gardner in Hampton, VA. What up?
Kay said, what's a retail?
Retail is RETALE.
Yeah, or RETAIL.
AIL. I'm bugging. AIL. Retail. If the house is worth $250,000, retail means you're going to pay $250,000 for it. If the house is worth $250,000 and you pay $200,000, that is considered wholesale, right? So you buy wholesale.
Okay. Can you show us on Pop Screen how you will go about finding a deal and analyzing a subject to deal?
I can do that, but no way, not tonight. It's going to take much too long. Who asked that question? Jamar. I don't mind doing that during the virtual workshop. I can do that for you. Yes. But in fact, let me make a note of that. Going to Prop Stream. Well, I'm already going to be doing that anyway.
Okay.
If you don't have Prop Stream, y'all, there's a link right there. You got to have this. You must have this online software to be able to tell what is the debt on the property. What is the interest rate before you got to know this stuff before you even go out there. All right.
Optimus Prime Time said, please explain general admission versus BS VIP. Versus general admission versus VIP.
Optimus Prime Time. Thank you. So I did a general admission for my roundup family they're just on the fence and they have no idea what this stuff is all about. And I was like, you know what? Let me give them something so they can come in. So that's going to be a link where you can watch the training. You can get the information. You will not be able to participate and you will not be able to ask questions, but you'll still be in the room and you'll be able to network with the other people there. You can listen to the VIP members ask questions. I just wanted to make sure I included all of my roundup. I wanted to give some value to my roundup family that's kind of on the fence and it's like, there's 2 types of people in this thing. People that are like me, I'm in, let's go, boom. You don't want to know what I've spent to learn this strategy. Tens of thousands of dollars, right? I'm boiling it all down and allowing my community to learn it for a cheaper price.
They said, will it be recorded for VIP?
No, if there's a link right below VIP, if you want the recordings, it's like another $97. So once again, guys, I got this whole business training thing. I have destroyed my body and prostituted myself long enough for pennies on the dollar, So this strategy is only for people that are serious. Next, my buddy.
How are you reassuring and getting the seller to trust that you will not default on the mortgage payments you are taking over?
Great question. Who asked that?
Francia? Yeah, we'll go with that.
Francia. How do we make the seller comfortable? Here's the thing. Unfortunately, at this time in my life, since I've been doing real estate since 2004, when I speak it, people they believe me. Would you agree to that, Taylor? If I say, Taylor, we're going to do something, we're going to be there at 7:00 Saturday morning.
I will believe you, but the average person.
That's my point. So when you do something for 20 years and you put thousands of hours into it, it changes the way your brain works. Hence, changes the way the words come out. So, Francia, right?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we understand the only way that people are going to believe you is if you believe you, right? So most people, most homeowners, they don't think that you're shady coming in going to screw them over. Most people don't think that. Now, I've had some challenge ones. I was thinking about one I did today. Whew, that was hard because some sellers, they're just going to be hard to deal with, if so to speak, right? So, hold on a second. Let me go back here. We don't want to give them a reason not to believe that we won't do it. We don't want to give them a reason. We don't want them to think that we won't pay it. But the only way that they're going to believe you is if you have time practicing. That's it, man. You're going to have to turn yourself into a person that's believable. Now, how do we do that? Practice, practice, practice. Good question, though.
Pink Lady. Oh, do you want me to ask you the questions that people in the chat have already answered? Like if somebody asks a question and people in the chat answer it, do you still want me to ask you?
No.
Okay. If the seller wants $300K and owe $180K on the mortgage,
300.
are we contracting it for $300 or what's left on the mortgage?
Okay, that's a great example. So if they owe 300, I wish I had my. Let me do this. They owe 300, right? I don't know y'all gonna do this to me.
This is from
Who was this? An electric man. You got me working. I know y'all gonna do this to me tonight, but I love y'all. I need y'all to understand this stuff, dude. You gotta understand this, man. It's so important. You have to. I mean, this is like this. I'm telling y'all, I would not have been able to get a house for my family without this strategy. That's how important this is to me.
Oh wait, no, this is my bad. From Donna going again.
With Donna gone?
Yeah.
So if it's worth 300, he said.
Yeah. Or no, the seller wants 300.
All right, want 300.
And they owe 180K on the mortgage.
This ain't working. Wait a minute, y'all. They owe Okay, want 300.
And they owe 180.
Oh,
on the mortgage.
180. So off the top, how much?
Are we contracting it for 300 or what's left on the mortgage?
Okay, so this is a great question, Don Ganon. So we got 120K to play with, right? Right? We got 120K to play with. So if this was a deal sub 2 that came into me, I am willing, I hope y'all get this. I am willing at this stage in my life, I am willing to say, Miss Smith, this is how much we're working with here. So we're going to back out realtor fees, back out all the stuff. And let's say after that, after you did repairs, let's say you might make 80K. After you did the repairs or whatever to it. This is all hypothetical. I am willing, Don Ganon, to write a check to the seller for 60, 70, maybe 80K for this property that's worth 300. All right. So as long as it's worth 300. So we're going to write it up. We're going to write it up for the amount of money we're going to give them. Okay. So we're selling them. Let's say your sales price. Let's think about that. They're going to be getting 80. Let's say they're getting 80,000 at closing. So buyer and seller agrees to 80,000 at closing with taking over the debt at 120. You got me? I'm sorry. No, the debt. I'm bugging. I'm sorry. We're giving them 80,000, but the debt is 180, right? That's the debt. They still owe 180.
Yeah.
I'm bugging. So let's say that one more time. Worth this, owe that. That's how much equity is left. What is equity, Taylor? The difference between
what the worth is and what they owe.
Yes. Y'all hear that? Oh man, I love it. You know, I didn't know what equity was till I was. Anyway, it's worth this. They owe that. This is how much equity left. Let's say they got 20 in repairs, whatever. I'm going to write them a check for 80. The contract is going to say 80 at closing. Take on over debt at 180 approximately. So you'll get these contracts. The VIP members will get the contracts, and you'll see all the language in there. You got to have this language.
An electric man said, if the buyer on the subject to unfortunately defaults on the mortgage payment, will the seller take a hit on their credit profile and eventually bring back to pre-foreclosure status?
Absolutely, they sure will.
Oh,
That's not good. That's why, who asked that question?
an electric man.
An electric man. That's why I told you these are superpowers. You can use them for good to buy all the real estate you want. Remember, I said it's unlimited, but sometimes things happen. So what do we do in those instances? We deed the property back to the seller. Miss Smith, I know I said I was going to do something, but look, I couldn't handle it. This is too much for me. Boom, here's a deed. You take it back. All right. So you are now, I'm knighting you. I'm knighting you all. I'm knighting you. Look, you're getting superpowers right now. Use your superpowers for good, like we have tried to do my entire career. So while you're still here getting value, make sure you get registered up for in the video description below for my Subject to Lease Option 3-day virtual workshop. I'm going to walk you step by step through all this stuff. You're going to meet my team, how we find these things, how do we negotiate them, how do we get out of them on lease options, collecting a large down payment. All this stuff you're going to get for one low price. My goal today, give you this much value and charge you this much, right? Is that cool? So I'm going to give you 10 times the amount of value. How good would it be if you just bought one house for the amount of money you're going to spend with me today? We are helping people buy millions of dollars of real estate. Go ahead. I know for people call me all the time. I already know.
This is a quick answer. Free Food said, is there any way to email or text you about a one-on-one session?
Yes. If you want a one-on-one session, I have a consultation link. Just go to Instagram. It's right there in my bio.
Okay. Jaquez said, how do you protect yourself from a seller who wants to try to claim the property after the fact? Because, it's in their name.
Well, don't forget, I'm going to go over this. Money and real estate don't go together. I teach this in the class. I didn't want to get into this tonight. Financing and real estate, they don't go together, right? So once you pass the deed over, that loan is going to stay in place. Now you're the new owner. So they cannot come back after. They cannot come after you. Now a judge might, if you do something super shady and unscrupulous and stab somebody in the back, the judge might try to undo it. But I have seen court cases, guys. I have clients. Matter of fact, my boy Quincy in Pennsylvania, he's been to court twice. Another person in Atlanta, I've been to court. People trying to get these houses back. You, generally speaking, you can't get a house back that you sold just because they kept the debt in your name. Okay. That's a good question, though, Jaquez.
Donegan said, "Can you do subject to with a builder? Can you do subject to with a builder with one of his new construction homes?"
Absolutely, as long as it all boils down. Who asked that question? Donegan. You can do subject to with commercial, residential, new constructions, existing houses, right? As long as the underlying debt is favorable. Now, if the underlying debt is high interest rate and a high mortgage payment and high monthly payment, don't do the deal. Can't make it work. Yeah. Good question, Donovan.
Does PropStream show loan info in non-disclosure states?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, I live in a disclosure state. I don't know.
How do you lease? Jamar said, "How do you lease options in Texas?"
Oops, no, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
you do not. You do seller financing in Texas. So what we'll do is I'll give you my land contract if you want to do those. I'll give you my land contract. Anybody that's in Texas, since you can't do lease options, we'll give you the land contract and you can apply this. It's the same strategy, different tools.
Oh, okay.
Good question, though.
Adam said, "Is it best to do this strategy with a realtor partner who fully understands it?"
Jonathan.
No, Adam.
Adam, I love realtors. A lot of times realtors can kill deals. Is it best to use a realtor on this? Not necessarily, but it can be. I don't think it really matters either way, as long as the realtor understands subject to. If they don't understand subject to, then just don't even talk to them.
Yeah, that's what he's asking. Tayshawn said,
"Hey, Tayshawn.
Is it easier to just do a wrap with the seller to make the seller more comfortable keeping the loan in their name?"
No, Tayshawn. Those wraps are for us. So Tayshawn is talking about doing a wrap mortgage. A wrap mortgage is going to be here's the $100,000 that they owe. You're going to take 110 and wrap over top of it. So the first is not even seen. Those are industry moving parts that you and I and us here understand. Your seller has no clue on what a wrap is. Now, is that going to help your deal? No. However, if your seller wants to go out and get another loan, you can always say, hey, look, we can set it up to where you can do that. But is that going to help you do the subject to? Not necessarily. The person's either on board or they're not, from my experience. You trying to convince them, hey, we can do this and set up like this and that. We should do it. Never worked for me.
Jamar said, how do you finance the rest? Most money lenders won't give you that money unless you have great credit score.
How do I finance the rest? Jamar?
Yeah.
What do you mean finance? What'd you talk? Dude, we're talking about subject to here. It's nothing to be financed. It's all, the seller has already qualified for the loan, my friend. We don't even deal with that.
Oh, well, he said, how are you going to write them a check at closing at 80 where you're getting the money? Is it hard money lender?
Oh, well, that, okay, I see what you're saying. If I'm going to write them a check for 80, you're going to have to have some availability for cash. Now that one we talked about here, most people aren't going to do that one, right? They're just not going to do it. But we use private money. I will use my own cash or some other form of financing to pay the homeowner for the difference between what they owe and the balance. Yes, very rarely are you going to be able to use credit to get that. But if you go back through my video a couple days ago, there is a lender you can go. What's it called? Fund and Grow. Go right there. They will finance they will finance it, but usually real estate people are not going to finance after a subject to.
There's 2 people helping Jamar with that.
Oh, okay, cool. We got a
donation.
Who that?
Boy.
Who that?
Tara Boy, $5. He said, I have roughly 8 months net worth, 8 million net worth. My bad. 36 years old with small family. I have 1 million in dry powder as 7 million is invested in market and in
Good
primary home.
Good for you.
Do I buy RE now?
What's his name?
Taro Boy.
Taro?
Yeah.
Taro Boy, thank you so much for your love offering, my friend. So if you ask a real estate guy, it's always a good time to buy real estate. I mean, that's just what we do. So for you, I don't know your whole situation, but it sounds like you do have some liquid. What is dry powder?
Oh, I think.
Oh, okay. You're doing weed. Weed?
I don't know. I hope not. But
dry powder. I mean, it's legal. So yes, for me, when you have a bunch of capital in the market, I don't like to keep all of my money in the market, right? So is it always a good time? It's always a good time to real estate, as long as you do what? Buy below market.
Oh, dry powder is liquid cash.
Oh, darn, he above my pay grade on that. Real estate always works as long as you buy below market value. Did I spell that right?
Yeah.
Because you're buying equity. When we go in to buy real estate, we're buying equity on each house. Boom, 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 boom.
They teach you something. Apparently, dry powder is real estate slang for money.
Oh, darn.
I didn't know that. When he said dry powder, I'm thinking like some crack or cocaine. I was like, oh, he just straight up admitted that. Be brave.
You above our pay grade. Dry powder. You got that dry powder, dog? I'm gonna use that one, dog. Hey, go ahead and wire that. Get that dry powder. If anybody liked that, put a yes in the chat. That was good. Thanks, brother.
Oh, Donga whatever, came back. He said, is subject to more ideal if the property is owned free and clear, or is it more complex when there's an existing loan? All
right, Danganon, let's say we're going to do a deal that's subject to, right? And they owe, I mean, it's worth $200K. And what do they owe? 0, what you just said, right?
Yeah.
Right, he said they owe nothing. Free and clear means they have no, free and clear in layman's terms, Taylor, means they have no mortgage.
Oh, okay.
All right. So that means they got $200,000 in equity. Don Ganon, how are we going to do a subject to if the person doesn't owe anything? You don't.
Oh.
Can't do it. Ain't no such thing. So we had to do a seller financing on that. Next. Good question, Don Ganon. You can't do a sub to if they don't owe anything. Unless they got back taxes and child support. I just did one other day while we looked at one that had $90,000 in child support. Go. Just
I'm
sad.
not seeing any questions coming in yet. Tell them to ask more questions.
Oh, we're good. We're gone then. If there are no more questions,
okay.
we're getting out of here.
Because everybody's just talking. It's either that
That's
or
cool.
people are getting help.
That's cool. Yeah, y'all helping each other. Go ahead, man. So that's what it's going to be like in the Facebook group. So you're going to come in. You can do general admin. Just hang out with us. Watch. VIP. You get all the docs. You're going to get to ask questions throughout the session. You're going to get the VIP Facebook group. Once you join, we'll send you an email. You can join in that. I'll be in there hanging out with you. But if you don't come to the class, at least get some training. Don't live your life based on interest rates. I'm telling you, everywhere I go, people are like, I'm waiting for interest rates to go down. I'm just thinking to myself, do you know the last time I even cared about interest rates was when we built this house here, and it was 2 years ago. I did borrow a little bit of money, but I'm just saying we don't base our lives on what the Fed is going to do. How can you grow and continue to get better and do more things when you're worried about what the interest rates are going to do? We buy on social issues, okay?
We got questions coming in.
Okay, quickly, let's get the questions.
The Taro guy.
Hey, Taro.
My fear is that if I throw $1 million across the board now and pick up a few props, I'm at mercy of market versus if I stagger out the purchase versus all that at once.
Oh, no.
Thoughts?
No. Don't forget, when you buy real estate, you're buying for cash flow. That's why I love real estate. So, say you put $200,000 out, you know it's going to be making $2,000 a month in rents. So don't be scared of that. And even if it does, you got to think about real estate. If every market fluctuates, that's just how it is. You don't have to sell it. Rents are set. Very rarely do you see rents go down 20, 30%. They just don't. I mean, that's just not how real estate works. Once rents go up, they might soften off a little bit, but I would not even, I don't think twice about putting money into real estate because I can always, what's his name again? Taro. Don't forget, you can always find it. Dude, if you pay cash, you can always pull the money out. I mean, you can always pull out money in real estate. I had to teach myself that too. Always. If you buy cash, you can always go back and borrow against it, my friend. Okay.
Jack Jackson said, whose name is the insurance in? Homeowner, investor, or tenant?
Oh, subject to?
Yes.
Subject to, yes. So we have a policy. It's in our name. The seller gets additional insured.
Okay.
What? What's so funny?
Nothing.
Oh, they talking. Y'all crazy. Roundup handler. Y'all crazy. They crazy.
I'm 16. Taro Boy said he made a joke.
Oh, I don't even want to.
Don Gunn said, how do you set up a land trust to use it to buy real estate?
Yeah, that's a whole nother training down and on. Yeah, that's that, man. Why y'all doing that to me? I'm teaching something else tonight. That's gonna be.
Shantae said, can lease options be used on mobile homes?
Absolutely, lease options can be used on mobile homes. In fact, that's what I would recommend you to do. I would not recommend you to rent mobile homes. Get a down payment, lease it out, let them pay you monthly payments so they pay it off.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all.
That's all we got. All right. Link, video, show notes roundup. Much love to you and your family. So we'll be getting started on here. It's June 19th. 3 days. You hang out with me, meet my team, meet my geek squad, Brian. You're going to meet Vince. We're going to go over how to find this stuff, negotiating contracts, all the documents you got. It's 5 to 6 documents you got to have. You have to have this stuff in order to be able to close on them. You got to be able to close on this stuff, y'all. You think you'll just walk into there and they're going to just show up and you're going to say, nice knowing you, Mr. Seller. What if something blows up later? What if you have to get a new insurance policy? What if you have to go out there and actually deal with the lender, interface with the lender from time to time? So I look forward to hanging out with you 3 full days. Is that it, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, roundup. Go ahead and get started. Don't delay.
So what's the real estate book called? Isn't it Real Estate Bible?
Oh, what book?
It's a real estate book. What is it called?
You're just getting a workbook. You get a workbook to come to the class, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Okay, roundup. See you soon. Peace. Thank you for coming.